sure we're going to see a Dahaka ban come in, but there's still so many threats. There's the Genjis coming in and the like.
Yeah, we're going to see some Brightwing maybe. We're going to see, you know, Dahaka potentially, Falstad.
I want to see some Stukov.
I do too. I do too.
I think Brightwing is just too much of an option for them. Since their global play is so good, we may even see that Cheese coming out again. You know, the Chen, Vala, Ariel. Probably it's a one-time thing, but it's still a threat.
Is this a Team Liquid picking a Dahaka first, then? Considering they go for the Genji ban, as I said, you know, there's threats that they have to get rid of. Maybe they can take away some of the tools from Fnatic.
I mean, they have taken it in the past. It's not out the equation, but I mean, Fnatic might just say, we realize that is your call. We do it ourselves.
Dahaka being taken out of the equation really makes me think about an Illidan here for Liquid. I don't know if they feel confident to first pick it over, per se, like the Uther.
Or the Abathur?
I mean, yeah, the Abathur is still an option as well. So the draft right here, I'm really interested. Okay, they do end up going with the Uther. This leaves a few really cool options for Fnatic. I wonder where they put priority on the Illidan.
Let's find out.
What kind of cool options do you think?
For Fnatic outside of this, with the Dahaka already being taken away, that does empower the Abathur pick. Abathur synergizes well with the Illidan. I don't know if that's the route they'd choose to go into. They could also alternatively utilize the fact that Uther doesn't have the highest sustain and go into a hyper sustain, potentially double support style composition. From my perspective, I feel like the world is Fnatic's right now. They have so many options here.
I think Fnatic will go for the globals. Like, they know that Team Liquid can only beat them right now with specialists, like Abathur and Vikings. So if they just make sure that they get Falstad at some point in the draft, Brightwing, maybe a double soaker, or maybe a very aggressive rotation so that they can 5-man at very random times with their globals, I feel like that will be Fnatic's strength here. And what ties in with that? Illidan, or?
Pretty much anything Wubby plays, to be completely honest. Oh, I do like the prioritization on the Anu Rock.
I thought the Illidan would come out this early on because generally speaking, Darkmock has loved it. He's played it in the series already, shown some prowess on it, but you know, Fnatic can do exactly the same on their side.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Uther having a Divine Shield available for an Illidan going in could be kind of scary, so taking that away potentially here from Team Liquid. So now where does Team Liquid go is the question, Glamoring.
It's hard to say. They have to deal with the fact that Cocoon Hunt is such a powerful engagement tool, and Fnatic has shown over the course of the existence of the team that they're so well at executing hard to execute comps like this. They could go into Uther Oriole, double support style composition. I think Trixler mentioned it in the cast, but they hadn't throughout the series picked up double support, and that is a little bit unusual. So maybe Team Liquid, from this perspective, Game 3, they just like want to go back to their roots, try and secure double support for this draft.
Does TLV come in before the second ban phase?
I'd kind of like Ariel Lunara here. It's going to be a double damage Li Ming Grey Main. The deletion comp. Hit a full set of arcane missiles, a cursed bullet, and you can pretty much kill someone right away with a good warrior setup. For example, Varian, or another warrior with a stun or a setup.
Are you?
With the Grey Main Li Ming rotation, I feel like Fnatic doesn't really want to take them in head-on fights. I anticipate now that they'd sort of play a more macro-oriented global playstyle where they only fight on their terms. Because with the picks Liquid has chosen at this point, it can be really scary with the deletion reset potential. So maybe Fnatic's just like, you guys are going to try really hard to fight us, but we're just going to run around and wait till you make a misposition that we can capitalize on.
I mean, they were like hovering between both Varian initially and the ETC if we count Gazlo out, because that was never going to be a thing. But
no, absolutely not.
The Varian
to the crowd.
The Varian definitely has the interaction to lock the person up with the taunt, the Greymane and the Li Ming to follow. But ETC, despite Blumby's performance last game, still too powerful in this meta.
I do like the ban on ETC from Fnatic's perspective. He has a good matchup into both the Nurock and Illidan. Very good synergy with the Uther. One of ETC's biggest downfalls is the fact that once his abilities are used, he's pretty squishy and can get blown up, but Uther just stops that. Fnatic identifies that and stops it right in its tracks. The Abathur's being taken away. I think Liquid is kind of saying, look, we want to fight you guys. I don't want to give you an option to just run around the map. And
they don't want a weak early game. When you go Abathur yourself, when you're still considering that, you could have a bit of a weaker early game, but that's not working out. Fnatic is a little bit too on point, so this time around it looks like they will change tack. I'd be surprised to see them going for Vikings.
Is Tassadar a potential here for Fnatic?
I'd say Medivh even maybe, but I don't think they're even going to play that much into the team fight. I'd expect to see Falstad and Brightwing coming out. If not now, then saving it for last.
If Fnatic did opt in to take those team fights instead of avoiding Team Liquid on the map, we could see Tassadar or Medivh potentially later. I'd say that's up to their decision making. But Tass, Oriel, Vala, Tass, Oriel, Lunara. Oh, Rhaegar again. We see it for a third time this series from Fnatic. That's a bit unusual.
I quite like this interaction here because I suppose you've got Lunara that can apply the poison, combine that with the slow binding totem from Rhaegar too, and Illidan can just chase for days. That's what he loves to do. He wants to go on the hunt, whether that be with the ultimate or just with his standard kit.
Are they cheering Gazlo again? I'm pretty sure they're cheering Gazlo
the
again.
crowd.
I love that we can hear the crowd from so far away.
It's so far away, but we can still hear them memeing.
I mean, yeah, I like the fact that, yeah, okay, cheering Gazlo for a ban. Yeah, okay, sure. Cheering Gazlo for a pick. All right, calm down, Ukraine.
Well, he's been let through. A grave mistake. But just to kind of bring it back, Fnatic is not doing that global play. They are more going head-to-head. Lunara and Rhaegar do have great wave clear and great push potential. And Lunara abuses Uther's relatively burst-oriented healing with her poison, but we don't really know what Fnatic is going to be bringing out in that 5th pick yet.
I love the way they've approached this draft. They're leaving the last pick very open-ended. Lunara's a safe pick who has good matchups into Uther due to the fact that she can deal so much damage without taking it.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just 3 times in a row, Team Liquid says, we can't match you in a normal rotational game. We want a little extra advantage in XP and map control, and again, Vikings comes out.
The one thing I really like about them going with the TLV combined with the Varian is Varian has the weakest early game, at least post-10. So with the Varian looking to try and reach that as quickly as possible, TLV with the side soak can help in that way. You'd have to imagine with them initially hovering the Varian ban that they decided to go for the ETC. The combo is so easy to execute. Let's just try.
At the same time, however, Varian's weak early game will make it hard for them to exploit the fact that their 4-man rotation should be able to punish the 3-man from Fnatic.
Right.
Yeah.
However, Fnatic leaving their draft so open-ended, right now, I imagine they're thinking whether or not they want to go into the team fights with either a Tassadar or Medivh. They could still pick up the Falstad and play the more macro-oriented style.
It's Schwimpy, right, that we're looking for here.
Yeah.
So where does he go? The Medivh?
I mean, I'd love to see the Medivh.
Yeah.
Schwimpy is...
There you go.
Let's
There we
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's how you counter this kind of burst blow-up composition. It makes so much sense. Quacknix was already on Linara, so Falstad was not really an option for the disengage. If you just get that force of will, as the variant charges in, it's one of the easiest telegraph blow-ups in the game.
Feels like it almost shuts a lot of what Team Liquid has.
I mean, it feels to me as if Fnatic read this draft like they read bedtime stories, and it's a pleasant one at that.
Yeah, seems that way. Seems that way. Are we looking at a Fnatic 3-0 here? They are. This comp looks on point here, especially since they have dismantled the team, the Lost Vikings comp in the previous one.
I think so, Killers. Illidan counters Vikings, Medivh counters the blow-up, you have Lunara counters Uther. I feel like they have all the tools that they need to deal with Team Liquid here.
I feel like they got everything they wanted. My only criticism on Fnatic's draft is Schwimpy's Medivh skin choice is horrible.
Oh,
I like the Night Owl.
What? No!
What Night Owl? It looks really good, very spiffy.
No way!
Yeah.
His staff with the master skin is so cool.
Yeah, the master skin is pretty lit.
Ooh, Grubby, I don't know.
Pretty
I don't know
lit,
if we can
fam.
be friends.
I actually.
We don't have to be friends, just remain.
Are we going to be groovy now on the desk?
I'm the most gangster of people. It's quite lit, fam.
Oh,
so,
okay.
As you can
Where's
see.
the book?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yes.
Trickster's somewhere.
I
Wait
bet
for
you
that
think
one.
Choco Murden doesn't look good.
Oh my god. He's
You know
right
what?
though. The master skin's
When
good.
I get back to America, I'm only using the Angry Cloud mount because of you, Grubby.
I can accept that.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I think we are ready to head over to our commentary team for game number 3. So without further ado, will Fnatic take this 3-0 or will Team Liquid fight back?
Don't worry, Caleres. I found it.
That's how gangster Caleres is. He got me in this book. He found it. So, yeah, he does drop down the gangsta rap. Anywho, moving forward into this matchup, man, I'm actually getting a little bit worried for Team Liquid.
Yes.
It seems like they are putting all of their egg into a massive basket of just the Vikings constantly.
And into a Vikings boat.
Yeah, into a Vikings boat, and it has been rocked a couple of times already in this first couple of series. And granted, it is Sky Temple, and we've seen them be very successful on Sky Temple with the Vikings, and I would say that the Vikings are much better on this battleground than Infernal Shrines. But we'll see if they can make it work here and even get one victory on their opponents.
Well, their opponents are in the blue. And they are Fnatic. They're hungry to take this series 3-0. We've got Breeze playing a new Barak, Schwimpy playing Medivh, Wubby playing Illidan, Lunara played by Quacknix, and Rhaegar played by Smexy.
On the right side, in the red, it is going to be Team Liquid, and Hasselhoff will be showing off the Vikings once again. Nurok will be on Li Ming, Splinter on Uther, Darkmoth back on Greymane, and Blumby will be playing Varian.
A lot of Liquid fans in the audience, or Underdog fans. You know, at one point, it was Fnatic who was cheered for as the underdog, but now the tables have turned.
That is very true. Even this year it was like that. Team Liquid was the undefeated team in Phase 1 of HGC. Coming into Phase 2, they looked like they had made a comeback in their first couple of weeks, but ever since then, they've had moments where we like to say in EU that they've been consistently inconsistent. How are they going to handle Fnatic? As Fnatic charges in the top lane, Baylog is already holding it here. Let's go ahead and look in the middle and check out what Greymane and Li Ming are currently doing as they're breaking down turrets as well. So it's all about grabbing structures and grabbing experience.
And grabbing structures and experience in lanes where the first temple phase will spawn, but Fnatic want to grab more than that. They've got the first initial stun on Blumby. We'll get a second. Force of Will there too. Breeze staying healthy. Wubby comes in. First blood.
And looking for more too on Splinter. They're going to get a second pickoff already. So the idea there was actually pretty fantastic from Team Liquid. Their idea was, okay, we already know that our opponents are going to rotate into us. Let's slow them down. They don't actually want to get a kill. Well, they would love a kill, but they're not going to get one with a Varian moving into an engage. That way they buy time for the Vikings to soak. Thing is, Fnatic brings everybody, and they are just messing up anything Team Liquid throws at them.
And they get a Viking as well. We've got Illidan down in the bottom lane. Darkmoth stays alive, but the temples are activating in a few seconds, and he has to go back to heal up. So he will be a few seconds late into this temple phase. Fnatic are putting Rhaegar in the top lane. They want to get a lot of the shots from top specifically because they've already taken down towers there. They are hoping that they can take down a fort with this first temple phase.
Team Liquid needs to be careful. This early game for Fnatic is too strong. Breeze on that Anubarak has so much setup potential to get a kill potential for his team if he sets it up correctly, and he's done it multiple times already. It's 4-3 against a Viking composition for Fnatic on a map that you have to team fight on. This is looking horrible for Team Liquid.
And it's what Fnatic needs to do with the compositions. They are exploiting the weakness of Team Liquid and having Varian. Varian's just now getting 4. He can get shield wall here, but it's once he gets to 10 and gets taunt, gets that armor, gets the extra health, and the ability to blow up a target with Greymane and Li Ming, start the resets off of that. If Fnatic is able to get ahead so much that it is an insurmountable task that Team Liquid can come back once they get to that point, that is what Fnatic is aiming to do.
And that's what I'm worried about. Look at the experience right now, 6-5. A full level lead already for Fnatic. Going into the second temple phase, you're usually around level 9, level 9.25. You're on your way to that 10. The track that Fnatic is already moving forward in, if they keep breaking out turrets, even moving towards a fort, they could have that 10 already before Team Liquid, which opens up boss control, moving in for a fight already, controlling everything Team Liquid has thrown their way. Now, with that being said, if Team Liquid can close the gap, get the 10 as well, there's always the strength of Varian moving into taunt.
I got a little scary there for a second. Fnatic were not getting their Giants as fast as Team Liquid did, and Liquid was hoping for the invade, but the incredible anchoring that Breeze always brings to the game, the vision that Schwimpy can provide, as well as if things got especially bad at Schwimpy being able to drop down a portal and get Wubby out of danger at the Giant camp would have still been available. Fnatic hits level 7, they're going to be able to get Splintered Spear, and that's where the real hurt starts for Quacknix.
And I like what Fnatic's doing. They came down here in the bottom to defend the Giant push that is coming from Team Liquid. They made a good adjustment. Ooh, Team Liquid goes in and gets a pick there. Darkmoth helping with Lenara. Will trade a 1-for-1, but still, good maneuver for Team Liquid. They get pressure on that bottom lane.
There is the counter kill for Team Liquid, hoping to hang in and hoping to get some damage done with these Giants. Start setting up for the next temple phase. They have their level 7 as well. This is a really important time for Fnatic, especially Schwimpy. Has a Force of Will for himself as he builds up his Master's Touch stacks. He's already almost halfway done with them.
Oh man, that's pretty scary to think of. He just got level 7, now moving to 8, and you're halfway done already. That's very impressive from him. Now, the other thing that's impressive is Illidan right now. Illidan in the top lane, remember, got that fort earlier, which allowed for him to move in and grab mercenary camps a little bit on the earlier side, grab the Knights in the top left, which forces Greymane to come back, which means suddenly this 3-man that Team Liquid has is significantly weaker. It's all based on Nurok hitting a solid combo, which Fnatic or any top-tier team should be able to dodge if you've seen so much Li Ming in the past. This is a good 3-on-3 that Fnatic, with good mobility, can outplay.
And it allows Illidan to keep an eye on Greymane too, to traditionally the murking hero of Team Liquid, that he has to stay up in the top and deal along with the Viking up in the top lane. So Wubby's going to stay there as long as he can. He does not have the hunt yet. They don't have 10, and Fnatic know that it's not a true global, so he doesn't have that option to come down for this bottom temple.
But here's the issue. When Greymane does come back to join the 4-man 4-team Liquid, Illidan just keeps pushing top. And at almost 5 minutes into the game here, they are putting pressure on Keep Wall and picking off Vikings constantly. 9.5 experience just hit with Balog being grabbed. Breeze looking for a fight already. They're trying to pick on Blumby here with that Varian pick.
The portal, Nurok is going to go down. Splinter was on top of the temple, and Quacknix is now just doing so much damage with this poison. Splinter cannot keep up. He'll be the second takedown.
I just don't get this Varian, man. Blumby will be under the tower here, hoping to buy some time with Uther bringing in the heals. Can they keep alive the Varian? He's staying alive for a moment, but the fort is going to fall eventually. Also, Blumby falls too, and Team Liquid is super behind here. 11-9, a boss available, a temple below. Fnatic has the world at their hands right now. It's a full oyster that they can go into.
Wubby hunted in, takes out Hazuops. That gives Schwimpy the stack he needed to finish Master's Touch, and with heroic abilities, Fnatic can gain control of the boss, giving them some extra time. Also stepped off of the temple, holding on to those shots until they know that they can rotate back to that at some point. You know, once Liquid pushes them back away, or once they get the boss as well, they have a lot of time where they can just delay that out until they make sure that it gets maximum value.
Gilly, I want to believe here. I want to believe Team Liquid has a chance. It's looking pretty dire at the moment with the boss pushing in the bottom, Temple being grabbed by Illidan. He can hunt in at any point. But Team Liquid has hit 10. They do have the blow-up potential. They can move into a fight, get Li Ming resets, as well as potentially Greymane. You want to go for the throat. Probably going to pick up that cursed bullet so he can blow up a target, but still, Team Liquid has a chance here. They just got to find the opportunities.
It starts with heroic abilities, and they are here. They have Divine Shield for the damage, even though the issue still is with Quacknix and trying to keep up with the poisons. But he does have Divine Shield should someone get especially low. Maybe it's a Greymane trying to go in. And importantly, they have Taunt as well as Cursed Bullet. Disintegrate there too. They're looking to get the first reset for Li Ming to blow up a target and make things a 5v4.
And I agree with Grubby here. The Medivh pick is going to be instrumental for Fnatic to defend that push that will be coming in. The Force of Will right away, as you mentioned. The Leyline Seal for the counter engage when it comes in. So many options for Fnatic. So we'll see what's going to be happening for our teams as we're starting to get into a bit of a slower pace for them. Fnatic not trying to overextend at any point. Team Liquid actually getting aggressive on the battleground. I like this play from Blumby. This is a very unorthodox spot to be in for a tank, but a Nubarak
still spotted.
Breeze knows something might be up, drops in an impale.
Fnatic is so good at playing those style of compositions like this. We saw it even in game number 1, the idea that you can punish a team who is trying to go in for some sort of pick, like this one, and then have something for the counter engage. They do it with Mighty Gus, and they do it really well with Leyline Seals too. So I'm excited to see how Fnatic can deal with Team Liquid, but as well, if Team Liquid, they obviously know Fnatic. They have played versus Fnatic so many times in scrims as well as in competition, so they know that this is something that Fnatic is really good at. They're going to have to make the necessary adaptations, especially if the first picks don't go to plan.
I will say that they have stabilized pretty well from what I was expecting with that. What happened in the early game, the 7-1 kills, the constant pressure from Fnatic. I mean, they still have a fort in the middle. They have all their keeps up, and they have the Vikings getting value now as the game pace is starting to slow down with that taunt coming online. Now it's about getting 13 and trying to find that opportunity, and they're looking for it. You see Blumby on the left side. You see Team Liquid on the bottom right with 3 people, looking a little bit out of position, but this is allowing Blumby to sneak over to the bush. But with Medivh floating around, it's very difficult to do.
There was one instance of Shield Wall being used. There's the next one. Wubby hunts into the backlane. Divine Shield used on top of Li Ming. They're hoping for the resets, but Wubby receives the Ancestral Healing. Fnatic staying healthy, and a lot of things have been used for Team Liquid here.
Blumby still in the front line, knows he wants to get a taunt if possible. Wubby's a little bit too far forward, though, as he goes in. The taunt does come out. Instant cleanse there. Gonna be very helpful from Rhaegar.
The poisons are gonna bring down Blumby. This fort is all but deleted already. And they'll go in and get a couple of more kills, Greymane and one of the Vikings. But importantly, Team Liquid engaged at a time when temples were up, and look what the other 2 Vikings were doing this entire time. But was it was it enough? Because Fnatic understand that a lot of those temples have already been drained. They're just going to head and try to take out structures the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, they're just going to run down and just go ahead and bullhead their way straight into a couple of turrets. And they get a couple of pickups on the bottom right, grabbing the experience here as well. Check out on the fort in the middle. They're opening up the map more, which again allows for Illidan to be more effective. Smexy's in the bottom left here, all by himself. Can the Vikings take him out? This is Hasselhoff going in for the chase here. We do have Lennar, though, to join up with Smexy, and he is going to survive.
He played that beautifully yet again, as all members do. Two of the Vikings will go down. They've got Hasu up, still trying to get the remaining shots in the bottom. The top was finished too, but there's bruisers pushing up, and so is Wubby. Whenever there's nothing else happening anywhere else, wherever there's not even a chance of a fight, Fnatic always has Wubby side pushing, and that's going to maybe net them a keep. This is getting way too low. Wubby's going to take down the keep.
He grabs it there, so there we go. A 10-minute keep here for Fnatic. They score on the top right. Team Liquid's in the middle here, floating around the spot where the boss is, looking for a fight, but also they're in this area to try and draw resources from Fnatic down to the area. That way the Vikings can be effective. But you're right, the Illidan from Wubby has been a little bit too much. He pressured that entire top lane and eventually netted a keep.
Even versus the Vikings, it's Fnatic who are winning the split soak battle, and that's given them nearly 16, which means this is a time when Team Liquid is desperate for a fight. They're going to go in for the taunt. They've got everything else too. Cursed Bullet comes out, but it's on Breeze. They've got Mortal Strikes taking down some of the healing initially, but Leyline Seal for the counter.
Love it. Shwimpy comes in for the Leyline Seal. Breeze charging forward, drops down the Cocoon. They're turning around on Darkmok. He is low. Burrow Charge hitting. Divine Shield will be used, but Olaf already being taken out. Splinter getting low on health. That poison from Lenara. It's too much.
That it is. Another Burrow Charge, another kill. Make that a double. Darkmok falling down quite low, but gets back in time to the well to keep himself alive. In taking out both Uther and Varian, the strong front line for Greymane and Li Ming to be able to do their damage. They're going to try to get a keep, and maybe even more. Darkmok!
The dog goes down there. Breeze coming in with the epicenter, having just enough range there to land on top of Greymane, and he will fall. And that might be the call. Yes, it is. Fnatic's going straight in for the core. They do have to be careful. There's still a being alive on the side here. Resets are always strong for a core defense, but someone who's very good at killing cores, it's going to be Wubby on that Illidan.
Yeah, Illidan is the one to watch here. He is jumping in all around, hoping that he can stay away from the members. The Hammer of Justice is going to connect on him, but
kill.
Even as they focus on Illidan, Rhaegar goes down. It's just too much. Fnatic take out Team Liquid at 3-0. Can anybody stop this team?